15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com.
This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
This is a Class 1 emergency. All civilian traffic is barred from streets and highways. Stay in your homes. Stay in your homes. Stay in your homes. Repeat, this is a Class 1 emergency. All civilian traffic is barred from streets and highways.
Do not panic. Do not panic. We've got the quirky films for your quarantine blues. Subject Cinema presents Captive Audience Theater with T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown.
You know what? At some point, someone said imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
They were wrong.
They were so wrong. They lied. They lied.
It wasn't that mad.
Lies.
Welcome to Subject Cinema presents Captive Audience Theater. I'm T.C. Kirkham.
Hi, I'm Kim Brown.
We're heading back to the Star Wars ripoffs. We did this last year, or about a year or so ago. We thought we'd revisit it again, and boy, did we ever pay for it.
Oh, man.
1978's Starcrash with Marja Gortner, Carolyn Monroe, Christopher Plummer, and David Hasselhoff, who's actually billed in first in its re-release, but he's in it for like 10 minutes?
It's something like that.
Yeah, at the end.
Yes.
So, anyway.
We begin...
This movie is terrible.
Yes.
Although, would you be honest with me about this?
Yes.
You, as a massive warzy your whole life...
Pretty much.
Would you say this is probably the best of the bad knockoffs? Or would that belong to Battle Beyond the Stars? Because that one's not too bad. If
Battle
you
Beyond,
it.
to be perfectly honest, I actually consider Battle Beyond the Stars, which also involves Roger Corman.
Yeah.
So, boy, does he have a lot to answer for.
Mm-hmm.
We did include that on our Star Wars ripoffs.
Yeah, and also the shape of things to come.
Yeah. Which...
Isn't.
That whirring sound you hear is H.G. Wells spinning in his grave.
Yeah, I know.
To be honest, I actually consider Battle Beyond the Stars more of a ripoff of the Magnificent Seven.
Okay, yeah, it is.
Than
Yeah.
Star Wars.
The space version.
Yeah. This is a bloody ripoff of Star Wars.
Would you consider it the best of them?
That is like asking, do you want to be executed by being shot?
Just give me a yes or a no. Don't get all schematic-y on me.
Schematic-y?
Semantic-y. You know what I mean.
We made a new word.
Oh, stop it. Oh, shut up.
All right.
Anyway.
Yes. And that's not saying much.
No, it's not. That's why I was asking, though.
Yeah.
Because we watched some really awful ones last year.
Yes, we have.
Or the year before.
When we did this for Masochistic March.
2 years ago. Yeah.
I mean, this film doesn't do for Star Wars what 3 Dev Adam did for superhero movies. But boy, is it close.
Yeah, but 3 Dev Adam was actually fun. This was just painful in most places.
Well, yes, but this did have David Hasselhoff and Guy Liner and Carolyn Monroe, so at least it had, nice things to look at. It had very pretty people to look at. This film starts with a shot underneath a spaceship where you get this long shot of a spaceship and you're staring up at the undercarriage of it. So we're not even 3 minutes into this film and already I want to break something.
Yeah, they're already getting into the underbelly of things.
Yeah. This is what I have to live with when it comes to the jokes, folks. Anyway, I love him. No, he's awesome. He really is.
I'm going to sulk now.
Oh,
so
please don't. So we're a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away in the low rent district, where this spaceship, as it turns out, is attacked by the forces of the bad guy from this film. Wait for it. The forces of the evil Count Zarth Arn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah?
No, I'm not making it up. Yes, I wish I was.
Uh-huh.
He basically has this tool, this weapon, that looks like what would happen if you spilled out the inside of a... What?
Nothing, never mind. Go ahead.
The weapon basically looks like what would happen if you cracked open a lava lamp and flung it at somebody. These little red orbs that somehow get into a ship and drive the crew crazy. We never are told how. The ship launches some escape pods. We don't know if there's droids in them, but it winds up crashing. Now, the reason that this ship is so important, as it turns out later on, thanks to the plot device, is that one of the passengers on the ship was the son of the Emperor of the Galaxy.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. In this film, the Emperor of the Galaxy is the good guy,
dun, 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 dun.
played by Christopher Plummer. Dun, 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 yeah.
Hey, it could have been worse. It could have been Max von Sydow and Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
Okay, yeah.
And I've never seen that all the way through.
And Mr. Plummer did get to spend time in Rome, so he was fine with this film.
And he's from Star Trek, too, so, you know.
Yeah, I know, so he actually got to be in a good science fiction series. So, as it turns out, roguish smugglers Stella Starr, eek, and her sidekick Acton, who really should have been the hero considering he's way more powerful than she is, wind up being captured by the Imperial Space Force, which you'd think would be a bad thing, but again, they're the good guys, because usually Empire always means the good guys. What? The cops that we do see are a robot sheriff named L, E-L-L-E, it's not just the letter L, L, who sounds like Yosemite Sam, and a police chief called Thor, who doesn't deserve that name, because there's nowhere in hell he's as good looking as Chris Hemsworth. Hi, Chris! Stella and Acton, after they've been captured and tried, they're sent off to separate prison planets, but eventually the Emperor's all like, well, they're the best of the best, so I'm going to pardon them. I'm going to give them the opportunity to get pardoned, and they get pardoned if they rescue my son, Simon, who was one of the people that was on this ship that got attacked by the lava lamp of death. So we have a whole bunch of adventures where Stella... Don't head desk, honey. You'll hurt yourself. We have Stella and Acton and Thor and Elle going from planet to planet, trying to find the royalty, the lost son of the royalty. So we've got gender flip Star Wars, because you've got the prince in danger as opposed to the princess. And so they're going to all of these different planets, trying to find the prince, with the forces of Count Zarth Arn on their heels. They go to a planet of Amazons and shatter that mythology that the Amazons were a race of beautiful women. And...
Oh, ouch!
Hashtag...
I think we already shattered that with Amazon women on the moon, didn't we?
Well, yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Hercules meets the Queen of the Amazons, or whatever that was.
Yeah. Anyway, so... They escape from that planet, and the one actual decent special effect they had in this entire film, which is a giant mechanical female robot, because, you know, you can't have a robot without having it have boobs, because that's important. I mean, at least you should. What? I mean, I'm sure that leads into somebody's Rule 34, but I'm not even.
That's where the idea for Galaxina came along a couple years later.
No. Time out,
Anyway.
stop it, no, family show.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I just brought up the title.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Going on. So, on another planet full of cave people who are going to either eat Stella or do something else unpleasant to her, we're not really sure which, although they do hang her upside down once they capture her. I'm like, are they trying to cure her like bacon or something? And she winds up being rescued by Acton, who shows up. Acton, and she finds Simon, and they are both rescued at one point by Acton, who takes out this weapon that he's never used before that looks an awful lot like a weapon from another movie. You know what I mean. This was the point where I actually just flat out started screaming at the movie. And it all boils down to a big intergalactic space battle between the forces of good and the forces of evil. Who will prevail? Only the Force knows, and only the Force knows why anybody would watch this.
Caroline Munro as Stella Star. Marjo Gortner as Acton, your hero and leading man. Judd Hamilton as Elle the robot. David Hasselhoff as Prince Simon.
Yep.
Christopher Plummer as the Emperor. Joe Spinell as Count Zarth Arn. Robert Tessier as Thor, and Nadia Cassini as Corellia, Queen of the Amazon.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, the Amazon remark a little earlier, that was mean-spirited. I shouldn't have been that unkind. They're very pretty women. It's just the fact that I'm like, none of you are Amazons. Because I can't believe any of you would not get your ass kicked in a fight. You know, Amazons are supposed to be warrior women, and all these women look like, when is this going to be over? I have to go to, get my hair done. You know, it's just, I'm sorry, none of them had a warrior vibe at all.
No, they look like they were the followers of Batwoman. Yeah, this movie's pretty terrible.
Oh, man.
And it does rip off Star Wars in many ways, most notably the lightsaber business. But at least it's not Space Mutiny where they ripped off Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
The whole, everything.
Literally lifted footage from Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, I think they probably leased it, but, Marjo Gortner as your male lead. He's not even in the movie that much. He disappears for about a third of it.
Yeah.
And it all focuses on Caroline Munro. Caroline, best known for... Did she get her start as a page 3 girl? I don't remember.
I'm not entirely sure.
She's British or Italian, and she got her start somewhere.
She
over
is
there.
English. She is British.
But she
was one of one of the ladies that worked in Hammer films.
Oh, okay. That's
she was in
it was.
the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. And a lot of films like that. And she's a very pretty lady, and she's
not a bad actress.
No, she's not.
It's just a shame that there's so much.
It's just
little to deal with here.
It's just a shame that this movie is crap. Now, the weird thing about this film is the fact that, according to
just one.
Well,
the
director Luigi Cozzi has said that the script and the way that they wanted the film to look was actually developed before Star Wars was released. That's his story, and he's sticking to it, I guess. I find it extremely weird that both films have an actual lightsaber in them, and the whole Emperor thing and all that and so forth, but whatever. I'm not doubting the man. He can say what he likes, but I'm sorry, this movie hurts. Oh my gosh, this movie hurts so bad. It hurts in a fun way, but it definitely hurts. It takes itself so seriously. It really takes itself seriously. Especially, Joe Spinell, who, I'm sorry, he really, really, really had to work very, it's one thing to be, the whole, you're the bad guy, when you're the bad guy, you basically have to, twirl your mustache and go out there and just,
And moo-ha-ha-ha-ha everywhere.
And, oh, sweet mother of all that's decent, does he go out there and moo-ha-ha.
A lot.
At least he's this is not going to sound nice, but at least Mr. Spinell is easier to look at in Starcrash as opposed to one of the other films that we've reviewed for Captive Audience Theater. Mr. Spinell was one of the hillbilly brothers in Karate Kids USA, aka the Little Dragons. Yeah. And those people made the people from Deliverance look like the cast of America's Next Top Model. So,
he's the older brother in that, isn't he? Yeah. Poor Joe.
Yeah.
At least in this, roles.
Well, you know what? At least in this film, he gets a cape. So
you and your damn cape.
He gets a nice long black cape. Well, it's all.
Anybody want to send Kim a cape? Subject send him at PNRNetworks.com.
It's all about the entrance, honey.
I know. If you're gonna, they don't have that staircase at the nature company that you loved so much anymore.
I know. I loved that staircase. If you're gonna, you have to make a good entrance and you have to make a good exit. That's everything else is just filler. But speaking of filler, oh my gosh. The whole thing about this film...
This whole movie is filler. Pretty much.
One thing about this film that I'm like, what?
Just one?
Just one. No,
You're funny.
The big one is the character of Acton. Now, we all know why Stella Star is supposed to be the main character, because she's a beautiful woman. And we were trying for like a Barbarella vibe too. I don't know. But
I don't know either. I don't know what they were going for there.
Well, the space bikini look was,
Yeah. Obviously, Princess Leia is a big part of Star Wars, and they wanted to perhaps bump that factor up because she got such a great reaction from the women's equal rights people and stuff.
Well, considering the fact that Leia especially in Star Wars is completely up to her neck, and they actually wound up taping her breasts down so that they weren't like as visible.
Right.
They didn't do that with Catherine Monroe in this movie.
No, they didn't. But I'm saying
at all.
I'm just saying action-wise.
Yeah.
That they liked having the female action lead.
That she's in the front, but you notice how many times she gets put in peril.
Yeah.
And has to get rescued by somebody else.
So does her. So does Caroline Monroe's characcher.
That's who I meant. That's what I meant. I meant
Leia
Stella.
got caught in peril several times.
Yeah, but, anyway.
Had to have Han or Chewie or her brother Luke, who she didn't know was her brother Luke at the time.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, for Pete's sake.
Anyway.
Spoiler my ass.
Anyway. My whole point is, with Acton is that I'm like, okay, so he's the one that's got all the super duper superpowers and all that whole, being able to tap into whatever the hell it is that he can tap into. They can, I don't know, bring people back to life and stuff like that. Why isn't he the main character? I don't get it. And
hopefully Marjo had a contract which said he didn't have to do anything terribly stupid.
That didn't work.
Well, no, it didn't. What he was involved with was at least watchable.
Yeah.
I give Marjo Gortner a lot of grief, but I actually like him. He's a very talented guy who is known in Hollywood to be a very sweet and wonderful man who started off as a televangelist when he was a child. Mm-hmm. He was like 10 when he did his first stuff and grew into an actor in the 70s and 80s. Most known for this movie and Earthquake, and also for his hosting stint on a show called Speak Up America, which was a spinoff of Real People in the early 1980s.
I'm just kind of like, he's the one that's got all the superpowers and the alleged lightsaber or whatever the hell it is. Why is he not your main character movie? I don't get it. And the whole...
I can tell you why he's not the main character with one word.
Yeah.
Well, not one word, but one phrase.
Yeah.
Kids wouldn't buy an action figure. Caroline Monroe, they would buy an action figure.
You're assuming someone made an action figure for this film.
No, I'm saying that there were. Well, it was a big hit, and they did do that. Who would want what's his name?
Acton. Yeah.
Acton action figure over a Stella.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. The thing about this film that truly, truly seals the deal for me, besides Christopher Plummer and his whole appearance towards the end of the film where he announces the one. I won't spoil it because we definitely want you guys to see this one, because what do we say here on Captive Audience Theater?
If we have to suffer, you have to suffer. And we've suffered through this twice in 2 years. You owe us.
Yeah. His whole Deus Ex Machina at the end of the film, which is one of those, wait, what? You had this? Are you kidding? Moments. But the whole climactic space battle where you have, I won't go into it, but there's just one part where even if you got through science class with a D-, you're going,
totally bogus.
That's not going to work. Oh my gosh, this movie hurts.
It's entertaining, though.
It's a good pain.
Painful way.
Yeah, it's a good pain, but it's pain.
So, Starcrash is available online on Amazon Video and a number of other places.
Mm-hmm. And you can also check it out on Netflix if you are willing to watch the Misty version, because it was part of the Return of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That's right. And I think it's on Tubi, too. Or Tubi. I don't know how to pronounce that network. Tubi, I'm assuming.
We're presuming it's Tubi, yeah.
But it smelled like Tubby.
So if you didn't watch it, would it be to be or not to be?
I don't know.
And to every scholar of Shakespeare out there that now wants to kick my butt, I'm really sorry, but I had a mic and an opportunity, and I took it.
So this is jumping on the bandwagon again for the category, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The category for this film is definitely jumping on the bandwagon.
Badly.
And missing. Jumping on the bandwagon, landing in the grass, and rolling down the hill.
All right, so why don't you tell everybody else what we've got around here besides that?
If you would like to check out all of the other parts of our little island of misfit toys, you can go to our webpage and look up all of the other podcasts and other assorted things that we have there. Those would include TC's show, Catastrophe Vortex. We have other stuff that we've done together, Subject Cinema, 3 Minute Weekend, and Tuesday Digidex are also solo shows of TC. We also have Front Row 5 and 10.
Eventually coming back.
I have a couple of solo shows as well, including Ring Around the Rosie, which is my wrestling podcast, Platinum Rose's Garden, which is my podcast for the CW show Supernatural. And I have a YouTube channel called Platinum Rose Roleplay, which is me doing original roleplay works, and you can check it out there.
You should mention that you're on hiatus with Platinum Rose's Garden right now, because the last 2 episodes of Supernatural have not finished filming, and now they're going to run the finale this fall. Mm-hmm. They've already announced, so it'll be around for another few months at least.
If you would like to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at PlatinumRoselle at Twitter.com.
And I'm at eCinema1 and eCinema Boston on Twitter, and you can... I'm usually on eCinema Boston these days, so you can eCinema 1 these days, so go over there. And you can follow us on Facebook at Popcorn and Roses, and on Instagram at PNRNetworks.
Yep.
And we also have a Tumblr, and we have a number of other places you can find us. And if you're looking for any great podcasts, most of them are also available on any podcast server. Just search the name of the podcast you're looking for.
Yep.
You can find it on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Deezer, and all these other places. So just check it out. We'd love to hear what you think about the shows. Subject Cinema at PNRNetworks.com.
And we would like to say that during all of this craziness going on in the world, we hope everybody is staying safe. Please, for right now, still practice social distancing.
Mask up if you go outside.
Mask up, wash your hands, and call your grandma.
And the people and the places that are opening back up, close back down, because you're spreading it again. It's going up again. So kind of get the social distancing back in place just to be safe. And we're going to continue these through the month of June and maybe into July. We'll see. But we hope you'll join us when we have them. And until next time, for Captive Audience Theater, I'm T.C. Kirkham.
I'm Kim Brown.
May your popcorn always be buttered.
And may your roses always be in bloom.
TTFN.
Bye now.
You've been listening to Subject Cinema Presents Captive Audience Theater with Kim Brown and T.C. Kirkham. Produced by PNR Networks, Boston, Massachusetts.
"15 years, blowing the doors off the competition, podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com